We are back with Fraud Watch. I'm with two frauds myself. I got C-Buddy and the main event.
Hello.
Get the expletive out of here. No cursing on Moxie's channel.
Yeah, no cursing on Moxie's channel. Rule number 1, no cursing on Moxie's channel. Rule number 2, have fun. Okay, so so what we're doing today is we're looking at some results. Also, shout out that guy Jimmy the Goat. We're looking at some results for Reg G tournaments. What was it?
That's my question. What was the Wiggly stuff doing?
I don't know, but we're looking at Reg G tournament results, and we're gonna talk about mons that we think might be on Fraud Watch, which is hilarious because going into the format, Groudon and Miraidon were projected by basically everybody to be like top tiers, and where are they? Where are they? This is the saddest one. The Honolulu Challenge, Groudon was only on 3 teams, and highest placement was 58th with 2 wins. Between every Groudon team, they had 2 wins. This channel is partnered with Gamersubs. If you want to support my work and get great tasting drinks, you can order Gamersubs through my link in the description down below or with code Moxie boosted at checkout for 10% off. Gamersubs is a caffeinated product that I recommend only to my 18+ viewers, but my link will send you to their caffeine-free product section just in case. Every product purchased through my link supports my channel financially, so I'd really appreciate the support. Now back to the video.
And the saddest part is those teams look strong.
Yeah, no, like if you look at this team, on paper, you go, oh my god, I don't want to get hit by Hearthflame on that. I don't want to get hit by everything. So we're gonna discuss why these things aren't working, why the format is sort of going in a way where certain Pokemon aren't thriving. And yeah, if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications, check out the description down below to check out Main and C-Buddy's channel. And C-Buddy, I corrected it. You were in the description of the last video. It took me 5 minutes to realize. I fixed it immediately. Okay, so yeah, let's get into it. All right, so should we talk about Groudon first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we need to. What happened to this lizard?
It's got like
So
a one set, right?
Yeah,
Essentially, right?
It's clear amulet set.
I think it's whenever you see Groudon, like open team sheets or not open team sheets, you kind of just know what's coming, right?
Yeah.
It's Heat Crash, Precipice Blades, Protect, and then a 4th move, most likely Sword Stance, or maybe another ground coverage move, which is like Stomping Tantrum. Not really great.
And it's like proto spam too.
Yeah. Like the Groudon teams typically just lose to turning off the weather. They lose to Pelipper really bad, which is kind of common now.
Yeah, Pelipper being a thing is hilarious.
Blades.
Pelipper being arguably like a top 10 non-restricted is so funny.
I mean, yeah, like think about the positive matchup. Pelipper, you know that video I put out like a few days ago? It's like nothing switches into Choice Band Coridon. I lied. There's one thing. It's Pelipper.
Yeah, it's just Pelipper.
It's Pelipper,
Yeah.
and at that,
unless it's the loaded dice scale shot set next to Champo.
yeah. But at that Pelipper has Hurricane. It has 100% accurate Hurricane to hit Coridon with, so it's like a real mon. Like Pelipper doesn't even need to be on rain teams. Pelipper can be with like Zacian to make sure it doesn't like lose to Flare Blitz or it doesn't lose to Collision Course.
I was putting it next to Cali Ice, bro.
It's good on Cali Ice too.
Yeah,
it's good on everything.
Really good.
I have a friend who's putting it on Lunala.
Yeah, no, it works on Trick Room. It's a Wide Guard mon. It's a Tailwind mon. It has Weather Ball. Yeah, and it has Hurricane. So all right, but Groudon, right?
Back to the Fraud Watch. Also, Groudon's damage is just way too inconsistent, right? Precipice Blades misses all the time.
Yeah, it's a messed up mon too. It's a messed up mon too, because like hypothetically, Groudon's damage output should be among the highest in the game because it's basically always going to get up to +2. It has Ogerpon next to it. It has Follow Me. It has Incineroar. It has like Fake Out. It can very easily Swords Dance. And into like a Calyrex Shadow Rider, that's a one-shot on P-Blades into a Calyrex Ice Rider. P-Blades is doing like 63 to 75, so if you tank, or if you manage to connect on it, it's just gonna like 2-hit KO, and at that you have like Fire Punch in the Sun. So it has the damage it needs to one-shot a ton of things. I'm actually curious, does Coridon need the hit? Coridon doesn't need the hit. Like,
why would you use the Pokemon with an inconsistent move when you could use one of the many ones that have a consistent move?
Yeah, like all right. So if you're wondering, why does Groudon have an inconsistent move? It's because it used to be Primal Groudon, and they never really like course corrected for it and said like, oh, now that it isn't immune to water moves, it's like biggest weakness, where we can like buff its moveset. It never really cared, right? Because it was still really strong.
The actual reason is because you didn't have to pay extra for it.
Yeah. It's not pay to win. It's pay to miss. It's pay to miss P-Blades. But yeah, now it has to deal with like both Calorexes, which have, you know, the super consistent move. That's 120, 100 accuracy. Calyrex Shadow also.
The Glacial Lance used to be stronger.
And better stats.
Yeah, and just dude, 165 base attack, 150 base attack. And like, it doesn't have the speed, but it has better bulk than Groudon.
Yeah.
Groudon had to deal with the fact that the Calyrex forms were balanced by a toddler.
Yeah. It's so messed up. Like, Groudon with Clear Amulet should have been so strong in this format because it's like, oh, I don't lose to Incineroar anymore. But the issue is, now you're losing to basically everything else. Like, let's look at some top teams, right? So Wolfie won this tournament with Calyrex Shadow Rider, Rillaboom, Incineroar, Clefairy, Urshifu Rapid Strike, and Tornadus. I mean, the average Groudon team, how do they deal with this? Like, they get carried by Raging Bolt because Raging Bolt gets to spam Snarl into the Calyrex Shadow Rider. It can Thunderclap this and that. But the issue is, like, you know, 2 Fake Out Mons, Nasty Plot up, die about it, you know?
Yeah, it's over.
Groudon, it hates the fact that almost every team has a Rain Dance Tornadus plus a Rapid Strike on it.
Yeah, or at that, Terrapagos.
Yeah.
Which Terrapagos,
yeah, you can't afford to miss moves against Terrapagos.
I love Terrapagos, my little turtle boy, but goddamn, he's annoying to fight.
Yeah.
And then Groudon kind of like, it doesn't have a choice but to Terra Fire, and terroring and keeping your weakness, but also not increasing like your main damage output is kind of bad.
What was the Terra on these guys? I feel like Grass is also strong. Let's see. This one was Steel. That's interesting. This one was
the problem is that Grass Groudon,
Heavy Slam.
Fire. And this one was
the issue
Fire.
With the Grass Groudon is that the Grass Groudons lose to opposing Groudon teams, and that always feels really bad.
Yeah, because you get fire punched. And if you're Fire Groudon, you can also lose to opposing Groudon.
The thing is, with Groudon, it currently has to deal. It's currently fighting a battle with the other Sunsetter, and it's just losing.
Yeah, and at that, like, think about how many games Groudon would win if its move was 100% accurate. I'm sure that out of these matches where collectively Groudon got 2 wins out of 13, I'm sure one of those games came down to if P-Blades hit something or not. Like, that's just like a fact of using Groudon. But like when you're not hitting it, you're not hitting it. So Groudon, #1 fraud watch suspect at the moment.
Groudon is simply not hitting that right.
Yeah. All right. The next one, controversial. Miraidon. How?
This one's complicated. Because Miraidon itself is absolutely insane, but the partners are just not it.
Yeah,
I think Miraidon is like, not that it's a fraud watch mod, but it's like skill issue, because I think people are just playing it in the most improper ways, and it's making the mod look a lot worse.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Partners and Rillaboom being everywhere.
Yeah, it feels like it's mostly a team building issue, to be honest. Because like if we look at these teams, what are we looking at?
Yeah, like if Miraidon didn't exist, you would never run these teams if you didn't have Miraidon.
Yeah, well, I mean that's true for like a lot of teams. But like the thing is, like, if you're using
best partners, they're not even Future Paradox Pokemon. It's Landorus and what's it called, Half Flame.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, Miraidon is like a hyper offense mon, right? But
100%.
But like, you know, with hyper offense, it's, how do I explain it? Hyper offense mons usually want to be like slapped onto a balanced team. You know, when you see like balance, but also there's like a Chen Pao, like a Dragonite on there, like you have a mode. When Miraidon's like the main mode of the team and the thing that's carrying the team, a lot of like the best balance partners are off the table because Amoonguss, like the best grass type in the game, basically can't sleep anything. So like that's like off the table for team building. Yeah. Rillaboom is off the team or is off the table for team building because you don't want to like overwrite your either one of these terrains. You want to choose one or the other, right? It's like that's a little bit of an issue. It's not like 2017 where you can just switch up your terrain and you'll be fine. And like and people want to like slap all these different partners with it. You want to put like Iron Bundle because now it can run an item instead of Protosynthesis and it can have Icy Wind, or you want to put like Iron Jugulus, which is like a really good partner for Miraidon because now you have Tailwind and Snarl and stuff. But the issue is, even though you have these Pokemon, you're still running Iron Jugulus. Like, as it turns out,
Jugulus is a good Pokemon though.
it is, but like it doesn't like stand up, I think, in the team builder to other things. Like, how do I explain it? Like, it's a good Pokemon, right? But like, if you're putting Iron Jugulus next to Miraidon, you're like doubling up on a fairy weakness in a format where like Fluttermane exists, and a format where like every Calyrex is Terra Fairy. But also, it's still Iron Jugulus, and even though it has like these great support options, you're not really getting as much value out of it as you would if you were building a team that didn't require you to put an Iron Jugulus on it. You know, like, how much would you rather have some other Tailwinder like, you know, Tornadus, which is an option, right? But like, it feels like a lot of the team builders are getting like tunnel visioned into, oh, Quark Drive, very good, Hadron Engine, very good. Where like, if they kind of forgot about that for a minute and put like a Tornadus and put like an Incineroar and put like an Ogerpon, you know, Wellspring, like, you would get a lot further with Miraidon because you have Redirection, you have Fake Out. I even think that like Substitute's like a really good move on Miraidon that isn't being explored, you know? Like, you can play it like Lando.
Miraidon really wants a second restricted.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's
one
true,
of the
actually.
issues with it too is
Something like
that Miraidon's a bit of a hyper offensive mon, and hyper offensive mons want to stay on the field, whereas this thing kind of wants to switch in and out to keep terrain going.
Yeah.
So it kind of steps on its own feet
That's
in that
why
way.
I choice specs with Volt Switch.
Yeah, that's
which is
pretty
exactly
odd.
what the kind of thing you kind of have to have Volt Switch on this set because you need to be able to pivot on those Rillabooms. And I think the idea of not using stuff like Jugulus is correct because you always just want stuff like Incin, Ursha, Moongus way more than you want Jugulus.
Yeah.
I think terrain with Incin is really good because you don't have to worry about wearing a goggles. And then Ogerpon, you could even like tech something off from like Follow Me to a different set because you're not redirecting spores because you had the electric terrain.
You can do
I
like
think there's
Swords Dance. I've seen Swords Dance.
You could go Focus Energy.
That's a real thing. He who shall not be named ran
Focus
Focus Energy
Energy,
Ogerpon.
Yeah.
But no.
So
Miraidon.
I think team building fraud watch right now for that mon because everyone's trying to spam Quark Drive, and Quark Drive has never been that good. Like,
Yeah. Like, this
hasn't been.
Like, this is the best team I've seen built around Miraidon at the moment. Like, this just looks strong, but the issue is that, like, I don't know, maybe it just didn't have a wait, why is that Terra fighting? Okay, so beyond that, this is like the best team I've seen built around Miraidon at the moment. But like, it might have just been like an off day. But when you're the only person team building in a way that's like conducive to Miraidon having success, it can be, you know, it can make the mon seem a little bit like worse. Like, here, let's try to do another tournament. So this is Miraidon's results in which one? Tommy Tuesday. Let's look at it in the Honolulu challenge, because that one might give us some more promising. Where is it?
All I see is an onion on a horse.
I don't.
So if you can find one.
If I can find one, yeah. Hold
I
on.
found one. Hang on, just scroll up. I found one. Oh, there's another one.
What place?
There it is. Wait, I lost
47th.
it. 47th.
47th.
There it is. Okay. All right.
That's tragic.
Yeah, these are also like. This also feels like, because I'm guilty of this too. I recorded a video where I tried to use like electric terrain, you know, what's it called? Quark Drive spam, and it just wasn't conducive to the mon winning. I don't know.
I think the issue that the Quark Drive mons, like Bundle, for example, still want booster energy because if it loses the speed from a terrain switch, it kind of just gets griefed.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't have the +1 anymore.
Yeah, like it's just.
When you build Miraidon, you want Landorus because electric and ground coverage is insane. You want a Half Flame to deal with Rillaboom. You want a speed control mon, whether that be Iron Bundle, Iron Jugulus. I've been testing Iron Valiant. It's really good.
Iron Valiant's decent. Yeah, it's like I think the only two valid like Quark Drive mons next to Miraidon are Bundle and Valiant at the moment. Everything else feels like it shouldn't even be on the team. Maybe Jugulus. Jugulus is whatever, I think, but I think Tornadus is more consistent.
To help deal with Kali AI.
Yeah.
Hey, don't be telling people that.
Miraidon's so weird though.
The Kali Ice player.
Yeah, this one legitimately feels like a team building issue. Like if this mon was given to, like, let's say we took like the 5 best players in the world and said, okay, all of you build like a Miraidon team, they would find like the 6 that make Miraidon terrifying. But right now, it feels like it kind of feels like we gave everyone in the world the hypothetical most busted Pokemon of all time, but they don't know what to do with it, you know? And I don't even know what to do with it. I just think the balance is better.
Once someone had like one team, this Pokemon's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
If it had like Transistor instead of Hydro and Engine, people would not tunnel in on the friggin' on the terrain stuff, and they'd be a way better mod because people would not be tunneled in.
I think Hadron Engine's better, but like I think I know where you're coming from. Like if terrain wasn't active, people wouldn't think about, oh, I need to have bundle every time, you know?
When exactly. It just does have better transistor though. That's the thing.
Yeah. Okay. This last one,
the team building.
This last one's iffy. You could argue we're being crazy saying this one's on Fraud Watch, but the only reason we're saying this one's on Fraud Watch is because it's the closest thing to a good restricted that people expected to be good that isn't really doing as good as people thought it would be. Because like no one thinks Necrozma Duskmane is going to be the most busted Pokemon of all time. Well, no one thinks Rayquaza is going to be the most busted Pokemon of all time. But like some people were saying like, oh, you know, Lunala has insane potential in this format, which I don't disagree. I think it does. But the results at the moment don't feel as good as I thought they'd be.
We could slap QRM White on there. I don't think anyone's doing anything with QRM White just yet. And that Pokemon on paper is insane.
Yeah, is QRM White fraud? I don't know if QRM White's fraud. Let me take a look.
No one thought QRM White was going to be that great.
It was it gets to do what Articuno did, but better.
Yeah.
Like 10 times better. That's a Sandy Shock.
We gotta put you on Fraud Watch then if you thought it was gonna be great.
Yeah. No.
I saw like top players say that it could potentially be like top 10 restricteds.
I think it is top 10, but because let's look at the restricteds that we have, right? Let's look at the restricteds that we have in this format.
We have the Bear type.
Here. I'm gonna count down what I think are the best ones in the game. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the last 3 are just opinions. So Kyurem can be number 10. Yeah, it's top 10.
Yeah, it could be top 10. Ooh, but like if you're not top 5, you ain't really special.
Yeah.
I'd say Ho-Oh was on Fraud Watch, but it wasn't on any watch to begin with. But Ho-Oh is actually decent.
Ho-Oh is like a decent mon. Like in the builder, it's like, oh yeah, Ho-Oh can do stuff, but like people aren't bringing it to tournaments, you know? Has anyone actually brought Ho-Oh to a tournament? Let me see.
Tinglu's insane.
Yeah,
so I mean the reason that Lunala is kind of on Fraud Watch, besides the fact that it won like the first Regu tour, then it's been really poor since. Even in the hands of good players, right? The Micro Protest is really good, but 22nd place. I think it's also suffering from a bit of a inconsistency problem, kind of like Groudon, because
Meteor Beam.
Meteor Beam is inconsistent, and then like not to mention like Moonguy's Beam, while it's a great move, it's just worse Astro Barrage.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a lot of these teams could just fit the Ghost Rider on there and just be fine. Like Sash Ghost Rider and Shadow Shield Lunala aren't that different defensively, if we're being completely honest. To get.
Also, it feels that
when it's messed up when I've seen more Dawn Wings teams than I have Lunala teams.
For real? That's insane. You know, I think that like
there's this one Dawn Wings team going around that it's just Dawn Wings size spam, but it's doing really well.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a higher special attack and it's slower. I can imagine that. But I think the thing with Lunala that like makes it a little bit difficult to use is the fact that in this format where Calyrex Shadow Rider is so strong and where priority is like the best thing in the game to the point where they had to nerf it with, you know, making like Psychic Terrain and adding like Armor Tail to the game. Farigiraf is also like a top 10 Pokemon in the format. Like with those two mons existing, it's really difficult for Lunala to like get going because it has Moongeist Beam, but it has to throw off a Meteor Beam to hit like normal types, and that's like the hardest part for it. Also, I think that like no restricted in single restricted wants to have to run wide guard. Like we can even see that with like Zamazenta. Like a lot of really good Zamazenta teams aren't even running wide guard because like you'd rather have it on a different Pokemon.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, if you're restricted is not clicking the go button, then you're restricted as just a regular Pokemon.
Yeah. It's so messed up that Zamazenta isn't on Fraud Watches and is actually like top 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't say top 5, but Zamazenta's insane.
Yeah, well, I think it is top 5 because like it's competing with Zacian. Like Zacian and Zamazenta are like fighting each other for 5th.
See, in my opinion, top 5 is like obviously Cali S.
Cali S? Wait, you think 5 is Cali S?
No. Number 1 is Cali S.
Oh, okay. So number 1 Cali S, number 2 Cali Ice.
Terapagos. I'll say number 2 Terapagos.
Terapagos is really consistent. I think we have to wait to see just how annoying it is to fight. But it is doing really good right now. But Terapagos is somewhere in there, like top. I think Terapagos is like number 4 for me. But like I think it goes Cali Shadow number 1, Cali Ice number 2, Koraidon number 3, Terapagos number 4, and then number 5 is probably Zamazenta with Zacian very, 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 very close behind.
See, for me, it's again number 1 Cali S.
Oh wait, Kyogre's in there somewhere. Never mind. He's not top 5 because Kyogre's in there.
He has more results.
Does he?
Number 1 Cali S, number 2 Terapagos, number 3 Cali Ice, number 4 Koraidon, and then for me number 5 is Zacian.
I don't know about Zacian. Let's look at Zacian results.
But that's what Moxie said, right? They're close.
Yeah, extremely close.
They're really close. I'm okay with them being tied for 5th.
Zacian and Zamazenta being comically close is so funny.
Yeah, I'm kind of okay with it. Yeah, 2, 8, 26. Are they all running Swords Dance? They better be. Yup, that move is essential, dude. That move is essential. Yeah, also, I think that this is actually the best type of Zacian team right now. This one right here. I don't think that it should have King Gambit. I think that should always be Pelipper. But like these guys together, these are so nasty. You can just Swords Dance. And this is substitute. Yeah, you can get up to like turn 1. Turn 1, you can get up to +4.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, and with how like terrifying Zacian is on lead, they basically just let you get up to +4 because they want to protect and pivot or like get an Incineroar or something.
Oh wait, they don't have Swords Dance, it's substitute. Well, that's
yeah,
insane.
This one's sub. That's actually kind of based. But
sub is good. I like sub.
Yeah. But no. Is that it for Fraud Watch? Have we basically covered the mons?
Should we talk a bit more about Kyurem White?
Not really. There's not much to say. I mean, it's just a Blizzard spam mon. It's gonna exist, but it's not gonna. I don't see it like top cutting any tournaments.
The video is mainly about Groudon.
The video, yeah, no, this is mainly just us like packaging Groudon hate, Groudon slander into no, it's not slander because it's true. We're packaging Groudon slander into a Fraud Watch topic.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much.
So that's basically it. No, we don't have much else to say. You guys want to leave anything before we finish up?
Subscribe to our channels. Don't use Bronzong, I'll cry.
Yeah. Wo-Chen less of a fraud than Groudon in this format. Insane but true.
When I purposely spread misinformation.
No, it's true. I'd rather have a Wo-Chen on my team than a Groudon right now.
I feel like you would always prefer a Wo-Chen on your team.
I guess that's true. I guess that's true.
Right. You was using Wo-Chen over stuff like Urshifu, so
That's true. No.
We can't
Groudon, I think Groudon's gonna be back once you have 2 restricteds, but I don't know what you'd even run it next. I think Groudon Koraidon could be decent. You basically always have your sun up, but thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, check out Main, check out C Buddy, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Peace.